Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Just first of all, I want to apologise for the lack of videos last week. As you may have seen if you follow us on Twitter, I was having a bit of a personal week. But we are back. We're making some changes to our format for the videos we do, for the review videos. So keep an eye on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter for all these updates. Basically what this video is going to be is a European preview. We're going to look at the Champions League groups. I'm going to go through a little bit about each of the teams, pick out their key man, just a brief update of like past titles and you know, that sort of thing. And then teams that are in English teams groups, we're going to go into a little bit more detail of them, take a look at the grounds and the managers as well. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into Group A. So Group A kicks us off with the reigning champions Bayern Munich. Of course, they beat PSG 1-0 in the final back in August to become champions for the 6th time. They're one of only 5 teams that have won the tournament 5 or more times. And they look set to be one of the favourites again this season. Obviously, last season's top goal scorer, forward this season, and obvious key man Robert Lewandowski will be the one to drive them forward, and they're going to look to try and retain once again this season. Up against them in this group will be Atletico Madrid, 3 times runners-up, haven't won it yet, but you never know, could always happen. Diego Simeone obviously has his style of football. It may not please everyone, a lot of people don't like his negative football, but it gets results, as seen last season when they knocked out defending champions Liverpool before a shock loss against Red Bull Leipzig. But obviously they've strengthened this season. They may have lost like Thomas Partey, but they brought in Luis Suarez, a man that's proven to score his goals, and he's going to be my key man for Atletico Madrid. Also in their group, another one of the Red Bull sides, not Leipzig, but Salzburg. They beat Maccabi Tel Aviv 5-2 in the playoff round this season. And they may have lost a few key players from last year, where they took the game to Liverpool and Napoli, but they're still a very promising team, and they should pose a threat once again. They're going to struggle a bit in this group with Bayern Atletico in there, but their key man Dominic Szoboszlai, hopefully I pronounced that right. Apologies, I'm going to get a lot of pronunciations wrong in this video, but hopefully he will look to fire in some goals. And maybe Europa League is going to be the best they can hope for this season, but you never know. Like I say, they took the game to 2 massive teams last season, and they're always a fun watch. And then the final team in this group might not be the first Russian team you think of. This is a team boasting likes of former Manchester City and Tottenham man Verdun Korluka. It's Lokomotiv Moscow. Their key man for me is going to be Eder, the man who scored the match winner in the final of Euro 2016 for Portugal. The best run ever in this competition was to round of 16 in 2003-2004 before losing to eventual runners-up Monaco on away goals. Now myself and Elmo are going to be predicting how each of these groups are going to play out, so keep an eye on Twitter for that as well. Links for both of us and the channel are down below in the description. Now let's move on to Group D. So Group B kicks us off with the record holders, a giant of world football, Real Madrid. 13 times winners. They're going to hope to go a bit further than last season, where they lost to Manchester City in the round of 16. Obviously not much needs to be said about this team that you don't already know. They're a global powerhouse, you can never write them off. You always have them up there to potentially go on and become champions. Sergio Ramos is the key man. People don't really like him. People I know don't really like him, obviously being a Liverpool fan, but you can't doubt the prowess and just a massive team. Now onto a massive team in their home country, Shakhtar Donetsk, 13 times Ukrainian Premier League winner, including the last 4 seasons. They should be able to compete with any team here. The 1-time Europa League winners, the best performance was in 2010-2011 season, where they topped a group that included Arsenal, went on to beat Roma in the round of 16 before being dismantled by eventual winners Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Now, they're not a team I know too much about, but my pick for key man here is the 20-year-old Tete. And now for another titan of world football, Inter Milan, 3 times winners. They're going to be looking to get out of the group stage for the first time since 2011-2012, having missed 6 years of the competition between then and now. First time since their return to the Champions League 2 seasons ago, they haven't been drawn against Barcelona, but instead they get Real Madrid. They won in 2009-2010, obviously under Jose Mourinho, and they've got a pretty strong squad, boasting a host of former Premier League players. But my pick, the key man, and the guy that's going to score all the goals, Romelu Lukaku. And then finally, completing this group, Borussia Mönchengladbach, the runners-up in 1977. They're not a team to be taken lightly, but they will struggle a little bit to make an impact in this group, especially with Real Madrid and Inter Milan in there. Obviously, Shakhtar can definitely cause problems. Breland Bolo is going to look to be their star man. He's going to be the guy that's going to have to fire the goals in for them for potentially a Europa League place. Group C hosts our first English side, but we'll get to them in just a moment. First up in this group, first seeds, is Porto, the 29-time Primeira Liga winners, 2-time Champions League winner. Porto will look to repeat their quarter-final run of 2018-2019. They play at the 50,000 capacity Estadio do Dragão, managed by Sergio Conceição. Standout team with Gruitch, Anderson and Sarr all on loan from English clubs, with Pepe as captain, a man that everyone knows. It won't quite be the same. They're one of the teams that has a very, very passionate fan base, so it will be a bit easier to play there without the fans in the stadium, or a limited number of fans in the stadium at least. But there's certainly a massive team in this group. Now on to the English team, Manchester City. Obviously, they've never won the Champions League. The furthest they've ever got is the semi-final. Pep will be desperate to change that. The owners are desperate to change that. They are perhaps a bit lucky to be in this year's Champions League. It depends how you look at things. Obviously, City fans will tell you they've done their wrong. Rival fans will tell you they should be banned. But they're in the tournament, and they're going to look to go as far as possible. Playing at the City of Manchester Stadium, which is known as the Etihad for sponsorship reasons, it holds 50,000 fans. They were knocked out shockingly perhaps last year by Lyon, but they've strengthened once again and have a team full of superstars that can challenge on all fronts. Key man though has to be Kevin De Bruyne. What a player he is. Last year's midfielder of the season, and Pep will be looking to get the best out of him. Now on to the Greek champions, Olympiacos. They also had to come through the playoffs, beating Ammonia 2-0 of the Cypriot League. May have not pronounced them right, but that's what I'm going with. They play at the 32,000 capacity Karasikis Stadium, managed by Pedro Martins. The best run ever was the quarterfinals in 98-99. They're not really a team you think of as going far in this tournament, but yet quarterfinals 98-99 where they lost to Juventus. Jan Villa, key man for me. And who knows, maybe they will squeak through. And then another pretty big name in this group, a lot of English fans will probably know them at least. Marseille, champions in 1993, where they beat Milan in the final. They play in the Stade Velodrome, which hosts over 67,000 people, a beautiful stadium. Managed by ex-Chelsea and Tottenham boss Andre Villas-Boas. Man, the English fans will probably know pretty well in Dimitri Payet, who's going to be my key man for them. Now, in this group, Manchester City will obviously be travelling. They will have a total round trip of 7,127.76 miles, which isn't too bad, but still, when you've got a lot of games crammed in, like every league has at the moment, you don't want to be travelling too much. So could that hinder City? Will we see a bit of rotation? They certainly have the squad depth to challenge, really, no matter what sort of team they throw out. And now on to Group D, which holds 6-time Champions League winners, current English champions, my team, Liverpool. They come into this year's tournament with a point to prove after being knocked out in the last 16 last year by Atletico Madrid. They play at the 53,000 capacity Anfield. They're managed by Jurgen Klopp. Key man is Sadio Mane. They have taken a bit of a blow this week with Van Dijk definitely missing all of the group stage at least, possibly further forward. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on that for updates. So that's going to be a massive blow for them. But they do play 3 very attacking teams in this group. A few people have called this the total football group. They all play similar styles of football. And next up in the group, 4-time winners, Ajax, are just one of them teams that oozes talent. When you produce players like they do, it's no surprise at all. They call their 55,500 capacity Johan Cruyff Arena home, and it won't be the same without being packed to capacity. Younger fans will obviously know them from a couple of years ago, the 18-19 season, where they were cruelly knocked out on the last kick of the game by Tottenham in the semi-finals, which would have led them to playing Liverpool in the final. They'll hope to do a bit better than that, than last season even, with their group stage knockout, where they dropped down to the Europa League. Erik ten Hag will be looking to Dusan Tadic to come up big when needed, the man who scored many crucial goals in that semi-final run. Then we move on to last season's surprise quarter-finalists really, Atalanta, beaten by runners-up PSG in the end. Gianpiero Gasparini's side will look to give a good account of themselves again this season. They won't change their style, they're going to keep coming, they're going to keep attacking. A key to them will be getting results at the 21,300 capacity seater Gewiss Stadium, and is showing that on loan defender Christian Romero from Juventus will help shore up that back line and try not to concede too many. Then the final team in this group, one that many of you may not know too much about, but a bit of a weird one for me because I have a soft spot for these. They beat Slavia Prague 4-1 in the playoffs. This is FC Midtjylland. It's the first time ever they've reached the group stage, but Danish champions won't be happy with just that. They will look to go as far as possible. Brian Prisky will look to make the 11,500 capacity MCH Arena fortress. Brazilian midfielder Evander is a key man for me. Now, like in the last group, I've also done the total mileage for Liverpool here, which just comes in at 5,034.66 miles. So not too bad for Liverpool there, but some very testing teams, and if you allow these teams to have possession, it's going to take a big toll on the legs of the players. And Group A kicks us off with Sevilla, the 6-time Europa League champions, including last season. They're going to come into this group knowing that they can pretty much take on anyone. Another good one of these Spanish teams, obviously you can't look much further than Sevilla. Their Europa League record proves that. They play at the Estadio Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Arena, hopefully I pronounced that right, just under 44,000 capacity, managed by Julian Lopetegui. Obviously everyone knows him as Sevilla's manager, very promising young manager. And they would definitely be a threat in this group, especially if Suso steps up, as he has done in the past couple of years. But this is a team with some real quality in their group, in their team even. They've never made it past the quarterfinals, been there twice, most recently in 17-18, where they lost to Bayern Munich, knocking out the likes of Manchester United and Spartak Moscow on the way there. But these are a team that definitely be looking to continue that pedigree of European success, like we know they can. Now onto another English team, we have Chelsea. The high spenders in English football over this summer. Obviously they play at the 41,000 capacity Stamford Bridge, managed by club legend Frank Lampard. They've won this competition once back in 2012, obviously beaten by Munich in their own ground on penalties. Timo Werner for me is definitely their key man. Big spender, he scored a couple at the weekend as of recording. They would definitely be looking to him to maybe fire them on like he did with Leipzig last season. Chelsea are a team that should definitely be competing in the later stages, and by competing I mean doing better than they did last season, where they were dismantled 7-1 by Munich in the round of 16. Then we follow on by two debutants in the group stages. First of all, from Russia, FC Krasnodar. This is a team that's only 12 years old at the moment, playing the 35,000 capacity Krasnodar Stadium, managed by Murad Mayasev. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly as well. They were knocked out in the qualifying rounds last season, obviously made it through this year, beating PAOK 4-2 in the playoffs. It's not a team I know too much about, so unfortunately my key man is just going to be the guy that I know, which is Marcus Berg up front for them. They played 6 games before in Champions League qualifying rounds, 3 wins, 3 defeats, so that may hopefully, push them on a little bit further, give them some hope, and they will be battling for that Europa League place in my eyes, with the next debutant, Stade Rennais from France, play in the 30,000 seater Roazhon Park Stadium, managed by Julien Stéphan. They are a promising team, really. Fans of French football will obviously know that they are certainly a decent team. They want to qualify for the Champions League. Otherwise, Steven Nzonzi on loan from Roma is definitely my key man there for them. Again, first time ever they've made the group stages of the Champions League. They have made the round of 16 in the Europa League 2 years ago, being beat by Arsenal 4-3 on aggregate. But they will look to definitely give it a go this season, without a doubt. Now, Chelsea travelling a fair bit in this group, 7,227.06 miles, which is definitely not ideal for Chelsea, for Frank Lampard and his men. But they will look to make the most of it. They have no disrespect to the teams in there, but a relatively easy group compared to the rest of the English teams. So we will see how they get on this year. Now, Group F kicks us off with Zenit St. Petersburg, the Russian team who finished bottom of Group G, unfortunately, last season. Missed out on the Europa League by 1 goal, in effect. They play at the 68,000 capacity Gazprom Arena, managed by Sergei Semak. They won the Europa League in 2007-2008. Before beating Manchester United in the UEFA Super Cup. So that's how a lot of people probably know them, in English football at least. They are one of the biggest teams in Russian history, in my opinion anyway. Their best run in the Champions League was in 2015-2016, where they made the round of 16 against Benfica but lost 3-1 on aggregate. Now, their key man is Russia's hero from a couple of years ago in the World Cup, Artem Zhuba up front. Their captain, the man who should hopefully score them most of their goals. In a relatively easy group. The not so easy part of this group, though, is the next team, Borussia Dortmund obviously lost 3-2 on aggregate to PSG in the round of 16 last season. But Dortmund are a team that a lot of people know, a lot of people have heard of. The 31,000 Wolfenstaden Stadium, hopefully I have nailed that, managed by Lucien Favre. One of the best young teams, especially at the moment, in world football. My key man for them, probably surprise a few of you, probably think I'm going to go for Haaland. I'm not, I'm going to go for Sancho. They have a very, very strong team though. Obviously Champions League winners back in 96, 97. And hopefully they can get back to that sort of level. They were runners up earlier this decade. And they definitely want to watch. They have a very fantastic young team. Now the next team in this group is Lazio. The Italians who play in the Stadio Olimpico 71,000 seater stadium. Simone Inzaghi, a manager that a lot of you may have known as a player, now managing for Lazio. They reached the quarterfinals back in 99-2000. That is their best run. losing 5-3 on aggregate to Valencia, unfortunately for them. The key man is undoubtedly the midfielder Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Fantastic player, and this could be his chance to really play his way into potentially a bigger move. No disrespect to Lazio fans, but there's definitely bigger teams out there than them. And then the final team in this group, Belgian champions Club Brugge, play at the 29,000 Jan Breydel Stadium, managed by Philippe Clement. Last season, they came third in their group, containing PSG and Real Madrid as well, getting a draw against Real Madrid, and 2 draws against Galatasaray to help them into third place. They may be looking at going a little bit further this year. Eder Blanter, my key man there, the midfielder. And what a lot of people may not know about this team is they actually finished runners-up in 1977-78, losing 1-0 to Liverpool in the final there, knocking out Juventus, Atletico Madrid and Panathinaikos on the way. A team with some pedigree, and one that I expect to do pretty well in this group. Maybe a surprise package this year. We'll soon find out. Now don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, not much longer of hearing my voice. On to Group G, we have last year's round of 16 team that was also knocked out by the shock team of Lyon. On away goals, we have Juventus. Obviously a massive name once again in the world of football. Managed now by Andrea Pirlo, who a lot of you will know. If you don't know Pirlo, you should know Pirlo. They play Juventus Stadium, 41,500 capacity seater stadium. 2-time Champions League / Europa Cup winners, last in 95-96. They have a pretty good team, obviously, especially if you're both the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo in there. He's definitely going to be the key man for them. Now next in their group, another powerhouse, but humbled last year in the quarterfinals, is an 8-2 to Bayern Munich. It is, of course, FC Barcelona. They play at the Camp Nou, the 99,000 seat stadium, now managed by Ronald Koeman. 5-time Champions League winner, last in 2014-2015. And their key man, once again, a fantastic squad, but their key man can only be one person. Martin Braithwaite. No, of course it's Lionel Messi. We get Messi versus Ronaldo once again, twice this time in the group stages. And these are the two teams that should really be top in this group. And you sort of feel sorry for Ukrainian runners-up Dynamo Kiev for having to play in this group. Playing the 70,000 capacity NSC Olympsky Stadium, managed by Misao Lucasero. Again, fantastic pronunciation there, I know. The key man for me is, once again, a team I don't know too much about, so I'm going with the only player I have heard of in Denis Popov, the defender. He's going to be their key man for me this year. In 1986-87, back in the European Cup, they came to the semi-finals before losing 4-2 to Porto there, unfortunately. That is their best run. And now another team I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of. It's Ferencvárosi TC, the Hungarian club that knocked out Celtic in the qualifying rounds this year. They also beat Molde on away goals 3-3 to get through in the playoffs. Dynamo Kiev also coming through the playoffs, beating Ghent 5-1 there. Now Ferencvárosi play in the 22,000 Garumpa Arena in Budapest. They're managed by Serhii Reberov. They actually reached the quarterfinals once of the then European Cup in 1965-66, where they lost to Inter Milan 5-1 on aggregate. As far as they've ever got, you can't really see them going any further this year. And once again, the only player in their entire team I've heard of is Adam Bogdan. So unfortunately, he's going to have to be my key player. Sorry guys, if you do follow this team, if you know, first of all, how to pronounce them, let them know. But who your key man is, also let me know down below. So that is Group G, and then on to the final group, Group H. And then the final group comes to us finally with my group of death. First of all, last year's runners-up, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. They played the 48,000 Parc des Princes Stadium. Thomas Tuchel is their manager, obviously. As alluded to earlier in this video, they lost 1-0 last season in the final to Bayern Munich, a trophy that they desperately want to get their hands on. And will hopefully go the extra step this year, hopefully for them at least. A team that has a wealth of quality there, obviously the likes of Neymar, Di Maria, but my key man, Kylian Mbappe for them. Now on to an English giant, the most successful English league team of all time, Manchester United. They played the 74,000-seater stadium, Old Trafford. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is their manager. Famously knocked out PSG a couple of years ago in this competition, so he'll be looking to continue that. The key man for me has to be the guy that came in last January and made such a massive difference in Bruno Fernandes. He's such a big signing for them, such a key signing for them. And he's going to be the one that they have to rely on for me this season. Obviously, they've got a great squad, great potential up front as well. Defence a little bit suspect at times, but they should definitely have enough to challenge for the top spot in this group and potentially for the Champions League. 3 times winners, of course, last in 2007, 2008, beating Chelsea on penalties. They will be looking to add their name onto that trophy once again. Now, Red Bull Leipzig is the next team in this group. Last year's surprise package, last season's Ajax, if you will. Semi-finals before losing to PSG in the end. 3-0, they knocked out Atletico Madrid, they knocked out Tottenham. They're in a group with Benfica, Lyon and Zenit St. Petersburg as well. They play at the 43,000 capacity Red Bull Arena, managed by Julian Nagelsmann, who is obviously one of the biggest names in terms of world football, in terms of a manager as well. They've got a fantastic young squad once again. They've got the likes of Angelino on loan from Manchester City, Peter Glasgow, who surprised everyone last year, Emil Forsberg, Yusuf Poulsen, Dale Campamento, obviously, but my key man here is Dani Elmo. He could be the guy that unlocks the defences and creates them chances they need to score. And then the final team in this group comes from Turkey. It's Istanbul Başakşehir. Again, hopefully pronounced that right. They play 17,000 Faith Teram Stadium, managed by Okan Buruk. Last year's Super League winner, so they won't be one to be messed with, definitely not. It's the first time ever they've reached the group stage of the Champions League. Last year they made it to the round of 16 in the Europa League before losing to Copenhagen 3-1 in aggregate. They're just below Leicester City in the UEFA rankings, so that will be one to keep an eye on. And they have a team that should be... there's a few players in there that will be well known to English fans. Nasser Chadli, obviously formerly of Tottenham. They got Martin Skrtel, formerly of Liverpool, in there. Former Manchester United defender Raphael will return to his former club. But the key man for me there is Demba Ba, former Newcastle and Chelsea man. This should be a fantastic group. And once again, the final English team in here, Manchester United will be travelling 5,465.2 miles in this group stage. And this should be a fantastic group. Obviously, kicking off with Manchester United PSG. It should be very exciting. And then finally, to end this video, I'm going to do my predictions here. Like I say, Elmo's will be coming. We'll get him to tweet them out on the Down the Wing Twitter. Again, once more, down there in that description, go and give us a follow. Go and give each of our channels a follow. Twitch channels, that is. YouTube channels. Our Twitters. Go and interact with us. Come and talk football to us. Come and give us some abuse. Especially Elmo for supporting Manchester United. He deserves all the abuse in the world. But not too much abuse, okay? We won't cross the line. Be respectful. Have some banter. Now, my predictions for Group A, obviously Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg, and Lokomotiv Moscow in there. I'm going in that exact order. Bayern, Atletico, Real Madrid, even they're not in this group. Red Bull Salzburg and Lokomotiv Moscow. Group B, we have Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter Milan, Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm going for Real Madrid first, Inter Milan second, Borussia Mönchengladbach third, and Shakhtar Donetsk unfortunately dropping out of all European competition. Group C brings our first English team. We have Porto, Manchester City, Olympiacos and Marseille. I'm going for Manchester City top of the group, Porto, Marseille, Olympiacos in this one. Group D, Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta and Midtjylland. I'm going to keep in that exact same order as they were drawn out seeding wise. Group E, Sevilla, Chelsea, Krasnodar and Rennes. I'm going for Sevilla top of the group, Chelsea in second, then Rennes and then Krasnodar, unfortunately for them. Group F, Zenit, Borussia Dortmund, Lazio and Club Brugge, and Dortmund is going to top this group. But then there's not much to separate the rest of them for me. I'm going to go for a shock and go Club Brugge in second, Zenit in third, Lazio bottom of the group. Group G, Juventus, Barcelona, Dinamo Kiev and Ferencvaros. Barcelona top of the group, Juventus, Kiev and Ferencvaros. Ferencvaros bottom. Purely so I don't have to keep saying their name, because if I have to mention them in the knockout rounds, then God help me. And then Group H, PSG, Manchester United, Leipzig and Istanbul Başakşehir. And I don't think I'm going to be very popular on this one, especially not in the down the wing office that we have. I'm going PSG top of the group, Leipzig in second, Manchester United in third and Istanbul Başakşehir in fourth for them. We're not particularly going to cover this tournament too much at this stage. We have some stuff to plan for this. My plan is, though, that in the break we get after the first 3 games, we're going to come and do a recap there of the first 3 games in each group, see how they're basically unfolding. And then once the group's finished and the draw for the knockout rounds have been done, we'll then come back, we'll review all of the groups, we'll talk about the knockout rounds, and that's where we'll bring the Europa League into it as well. We'll start talking about the Europa League, mainly the British teams that are in there. Obviously we focus on the Premier League mostly, but we will talk about big games. Once it gets to the quarterfinal stages, we'll then be going through each game in both competitions. We'll have predictions coming for the knockout rounds, stuff like that. Now, my very early prediction for Champions League winners this season, I am going to go for Juventus. Juventus are my pick to win the entire thing. And that is it for this video, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell. Even if you don't like this video, subscribe and ring that bell so you could come and watch more of us talking football. Like I say, we have other content coming your way planned. We're having a change of format. We're going to try and cut these videos down a little bit more. You don't want to be sat here listening to us talk for an hour and a half. We're going to try and condense this down a little bit more. If you have stuff that you want us to cover, any specific videos, lists, tier lists, anything like that, let us know either in the comments down below or on our Twitters, as we said. And until next time, I'm out. See you later, guys.